Welcome to English International, where we make learning English quick, convenient, logical, and fun. My name is Dr. Sara. In this lesson, you will learn how to best respond when someone greets you in English. Let's get started. As we discussed in Greetings Lesson 1, understanding how to greet someone is the first step in learning any language. But starting a conversation is easy compared to the work it will take to keep that conversation going. The first thing you must be able to do is answer the how questions and what questions that you will be asked when meeting someone. Let's take a look once again at those common greeting questions, and this time we will focus on how to best answer them. And be sure to stay tuned to the end of this video, where I will unlock a major secret about greetings in English. You will not want to miss it. Now, the most important thing to remember with greetings is that your answers need to follow the pattern of the questions you are asked. Let's take a look at a few examples, and you will see what I mean. First, let's review those how questions that are used in English greetings. They include, how are you? How are you doing? How's it going? How are things? And how have you been? Beginning with how are you? The answer is simple. Change the question to the declarative form. You will need to change the be verb to the first person singular, or I, since you'll be talking about yourself. Remember, the be verb is conjugated as follows. I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you, plural, are, and they are. So in this case, since you are answering the question about yourself, you will use the form of the be verb that goes with the subject I, which is I am. So if you're asked, how are you? You would simply answer, I am, plus an adjective. Here's a list of adjectives commonly used when answering English greetings. Good, great, excellent, fine, well, pretty good, not bad, okay, and all right. So how are you? I'm great, or I'm all right. Next, let's use the same pattern to answer the greeting question, how are you doing? This question uses the present progressive verb tense, so we will need to use the same verb tense in our answer as well. This means our answer will change to I am doing plus an adjective. Now, you will notice that native speakers of English love using contractions or combining certain words together to make speech both faster and easier to produce. You can learn more about contractions in other English International videos, but for now, just be aware that the answer, I am doing well, may sound more like I'm doing well, where I and am have combined or contracted by dropping the A in am and forming I'm. So to review, if you're asked, how are you doing? An appropriate answer would be, I'm doing great, or I'm doing okay, or any other adjective you choose. Next, let's learn how to answer the greeting question, how is it going? Again, let's change this interrogative into a declarative, or a question into a statement. Our answer will become, it is going, plus an adjective. So, it is going well, or it is going great. Our next how question that will need an answer is, how are things? Which is short for, how are things going? With the answer, we can choose either the shortened version of the question, giving us an answer like, things are good, or we can choose the full version of the question, which would result in an answer such as, things are going all right. But in either case, we simply changed the question to the statement form and added an adjective from our list. Now, onto our final how question. How have you been? This question uses the present perfect verb tense, and that means we will need to use the same verb tense in our answer too. So, how have you been will become I have been plus an adjective. For example, I have been well, or I have been good. And that completes our how greeting questions and how to best answer them by following a simple pattern. Now let's move on to our what questions, which are also commonly used in English greetings. Remember from Greetings Lesson 1, those what questions include what's going on, what's new, and what's up. Now you will find that answering a what greeting question is surprisingly easy. All you have to do is choose a not phrase. There are basically 3 not phrases to choose from. Not much, nothing, and nothing much. These can be interchanged with each of the what greeting questions, meaning it doesn't really matter which one you choose. They all mean basically the same thing. For example, if you are asked, what's going on? An appropriate answer would be, nothing. Or if someone greets you with, what's new? You could simply say, nothing much. And now our very common greeting, what's up? Which I previously mentioned is often answered incorrectly by non-native speakers of English. How do they get it wrong, you ask? Well, they attempt to answer it with an adjective like good or fine, but what greeting questions require a not phrase? So a grammatically correct answer to what's up would be not much or nothing, but never an adjective like great. Now, if you accidentally use an adjective, you will quickly realize your mistake, because it will cause the conversation to stall. Or you may get a funny look from the other speaker. But do not worry, even native speakers make mistakes when they are talking, and all you can do is laugh at yourself and learn from those mistakes. So as you can see, answering greeting questions in English is not too difficult. They all follow a logical pattern. How questions are answered by changing the sentence's grammar from the question form to the declarative form, then adding an adjective. And what questions are even simpler? Just respond with a not phrase. Not much, nothing, or nothing much. Knowing how to answer the questions asked of you when greeting someone will help ensure that the conversation continues to run smoothly. So remember to not only practice greeting people in English, but to also practice the answers to those very same questions. Now, I mentioned earlier that I would share a secret about English greetings. This is actually shocking to some people, but it is an important part of American culture. When you are greeted in English, 99% of the time, no one actually cares how you're doing. I know it seems sad at first, but the truth is all of the greeting questions we have learned are just different ways of saying hello. Now, I have met so many non-native speakers of English over the years who've had their feelings hurt because when someone asked them, how are you doing? They started telling these long stories about their lives, their triumphs, their struggles, only to find that the native English speaker did not care at all. And that is simply because they were not looking for a detailed response. In our culture, that type of information would be shared much later in a conversation, not during the initial greeting. So before you get your feelings hurt, I wanted you to know that Americans mean well when they greet you. They are acknowledging you and saying hello, but they expect you to follow the grammatical patterns of the language. They'll want you to keep it short and sweet and to not go into any personal details. So I hope that knowing that secret will be helpful for you in understanding the cultural expectations for exchanging greetings in English. Now be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe to English International so we can continue your English language journey together. Until next time, bye-bye!